Welcome to Danielle versus the Void, the show where we take modern life, turn it upside down, shake out the loose screws, and see which psychological mysteries fall out. Today, we're diving into a topic that hits so many of us in the nervous system, it might as well have its own parking space in our stress response. Work that drains more from you than you ever consciously agreed to give. If you've ever clocked out and felt like someone unplugged your soul and left it charging in the break room, congratulations. You're in the right episode. There's a particular flavor of exhaustion that comes from the modern workplace. It's not physical, though your body absolutely feels like it has been dragged through a day-long obstacle course. It's not it's not purely emotional, though you absolutely end up experiencing every human feeling in a weird, swirling flavor tornado. And it's not intellectual, even though your brain sits in your skull like it's rebooting in safe mode. It's all three at once. A cosmic trinity of depletion, a burnout smoothie, a neurological, are you freaking kidding me Sunday? Let's be very clear. Nothing about your exhaustion is imaginary. You're not being dramatic. You're not overthinking. You're not too sensitive. You're a human being trying to function inside a system that treats your nervous system like a rechargeable battery pack with unlimited capacity. Spoiler alert, you do not have unlimited capacity. In fact, you have extremely limited capacity. And every shift uses it like a toddler uses glitter, recklessly and everywhere. This episode is for you if you've ever felt secretly embarrassed about how wiped out you get from a job that doesn't look stressful from the outside. It's for you if you've ever wondered why you come home and collapse into an emotional pudding, even on days that weren't that bad. It's for you if you've ever sat alone after a shift and thought, why does this feel so heavy? Why does this feel like too much? Why can't I handle this like other people seem to? Today, we're doing what I like to call a psychological autopsy of modern work. We're going to cut into it, look into its guts, understand the biology behind your burnout, and talk about how your brain is trying very hard to survive in a world it was never built for. This is not an episode designed to fix your job. I would love to have that kind of power, but I don't. Otherwise, I'd fix mine first. Anyway, but it is designed to help you understand what's happening in your head, your body, and your energy reserves in a way that makes you go, oh, so it's not me, it's literally the universe. Because that is the thesis of this episode. You are not the problem. You might be in other ways. You're not the problem in this. The system is the problem. Your brain is reacting exactly how a healthy brain reacts to chronic stress, unpredictable social interactions, inconsistent reward structures, and the emotional labor Olympics. Let's get into why you're so tired. It's time to break one of the biggest lies you've ever internalized. The idea that being exhausted from work means you're weak. That's absolutely not true. Exhaustion from work means you're conscious. It means you're human. It means you have a nervous system that has not, in fact, been replaced with a cybernetic processor capable of handling unending nonsense. You are depleted, not defective. Let's take this from the beginning scientifically. Humans evolved for small, predictable, tightly bonded social groups. Your brain expected you to spend most of your life with about 150 familiar faces, people you knew well, whose moods made sense to you. People who didn't walk into your space and demand random tasks with the emotional energy of a feral goose on a holiday weekend. Your nervous system is used to the rhythm of village life. Wake up, do the thing, talk to the same 10 people, eat, do another thing, rest, repeat. There's variation, of course, but not the soul-bending chaos of what you deal with now. Today's workplace is an unpredictable minefield of micro stressors, shifting demands, tonal shifts, emotional curveballs, attention splits, and the sudden need to perform customer service like you're auditioning for a role you never wanted. Your brain simply was not built for this. And yet you're out there doing it every single day, which is honestly heroic. Imagine your amygdala, the tiny little almond-shaped anxiety gremlin in your brain, watching the modern workplace. It's a threat detector that evolved to take lions very seriously. And now it's trying to interpret a cash register error or a rude customer with the same intensity. Your amygdala does not know the difference between life-threatening danger and someone talking to you like you personally implemented the return policy. So it fires up your stress response like you're being hunted. Meanwhile, your prefrontal cortex, the responsible adult part of your brain, is quietly panicking. It's supposed to handle logic, planning, patience, and emotional control, but it can only do that when the amygdala is calm. When the amygdala is screaming into the void like a raccoon on an energy drink binge, your prefrontal cortex has to hold the steering wheel with sweaty hands and pretend like everything is fine. Depletion happens when this dynamic lasts for hours, days, months, years at a time. Your nervous system doesn't get to reset. Your brain never gets to finish a stress cycle. Instead, it stays activated, half on, half alarmed, half ready to run away. That's not drama, that's physiology. When people brush off your exhaustion with patronizing nonsense like, it's just work, or everyone has to do it, what they're really saying is, I don't understand how the brain works. Because if they did, they would know that the modern workplace places more stress on your nervous system in one day than early humans experienced in a week. No one is built to thrive under those conditions. You're not failing at work. You're surviving it. There's a very specific kind of tired that comes from doing a job that requires you to wear 20 different versions of yourself in a single day. You go in as yourself, but then you have to switch to the professional version, conflict de-escalation version. I swear I'm fine, even though I'm emotionally melting version. And of course, customer service voice version, the one you invented just so you wouldn't get fired. That switching, that constant shifting of internal states is emotional labor. Emotional labor is the invisible cost of performing feelings your nervous system is not actually experiencing. And your brain doesn't take this lightly. In fact, emotional labor drains the same internal battery your brain uses for literally everything else. Impulse control, problem solving, focus, patience, compassion, memory, and the ability to not scream into soup. Every time you smile, when you don't feel like smiling, your prefrontal cortex burns through tiny reserves of energy it's desperately trying to ration. Every time you swallow irritation to stay professional, your limbic system has to hold its breath. Every time you deal with a demanding person calmly, despite your inner monologue screaming into a pillow, your entire neural architecture is doing a gymnastics routine, and it adds up. The emotional effort you put in to one polite conversation might not seem like much, but multiply that by dozens, sometimes hundreds of interactions a day. And suddenly your brain is carrying emotional weight that could make a therapist cry. This is the part that most people don't understand. Emotional labor is not just being nice. Emotional labor is literally the psychological equivalent of holding a plank position with your feelings. You can do it for a while. You can get good at it. But eventually, your body starts shaking. Your brain starts giving out, and you collapse into the metaphorical carpet because your willpower ran off to live in a cave. And emotional labor isn't optional, it's demanded, required, expected. Jobs today don't just want your time, they want your emotional equilibrium. Your calm, your warmth, your diplomacy, your smile, your tone, your patience, your I swear I'm doing okay energy, all of it. But you only have so much to give. No one has infinite chill. This is why you hit that point during the day where something tiny happens and your brain gives you a pop-up notification that says, nope, can't process. Please try again tomorrow. That's why by hour 6, everything feels personal. It's why you go home feeling like you want nothing more than silence and a cold beverage. Your emotions got wrung out like a towel. Your brain spent an entire shift keeping itself from snapping. It's not just emotional labor, it's microstress. Microstress is every tiny moment that demands a shift in your internal state. Someone talking to you in a tone that feels sharp. Someone asking you to do the Someone asking you to do something at the exact wrong moment. Someone hovering behind you, a machine beeping, a task interrupting another task, a responsibility being thrown at you sideways, a coworker showing up in a mood that feels contagious. Individually, these moments feel small. Your brain treats them like little alarms, tiny pings, flickers of attention, but they never stop. They happen all day in an unpredictable pattern. It's like trying to concentrate when someone taps a pencil endlessly next to your ear. Eventually, the tapping isn't just annoying, it's destructive. Microstress is insidious. It bypasses your coping mechanisms because it doesn't feel like a real problem. No one trains you to manage microstress because it doesn't look stressful. But it's the single biggest reason people burn out in modern work environments. It's not the big crises, not the dramatic problems, the tiny, relentless, emotional, destabilizing moments that come at you like gnats. Microstress drains your cognitive resources like an app running in the background that's eating your battery. You don't notice it until suddenly your whole system shuts down and you realize your brain is toast. That's why your job feels like an emotional heist. You walk in with a full tank, and by the time you leave, there's nothing left but fumes and whatever pocket of energy your nervous system was hoarding for emergencies. Now we're getting into the heart of the psychological meltdown, the neuroscience of why your tolerance evaporates, your patience dissolves, and every little thing feels like a personal insult from the universe itself. Because here's the truth your brain would like everyone to know. Chronic stress rewires your emotional processing like a badly coded software update. Let's start with the amygdala. Your amygdala is an emotional smoke alarm for your brain. It's tiny, dramatic, and deeply committed to its craft. Under normal circumstances, it monitors threats, evaluates danger, and decides how intensely you should react. But under chronic stress, the amygdala becomes hyperactive. It gets bigger, louder, twitchier, and a lot more confident than it should be. Suddenly, every inconvenience feels suspicious. Every tone feels threatening. Every shift in someone's facial expression feels like it's carrying hidden meaning. A hyperactive amygdala is why you find yourself thinking, did they mean that? Or why did that comment bother me so much? Or why did that tiny thing ruin my entire day? The answer is that your threat detector is scanning for danger when there is none. And it's doing it because it's been so overwhelmed for too long. Meanwhile, the hippocampus, the little seahorse region, meanwhile, the hippocampus, the little seahorse-shaped region of your brain responsible for regulating your emotions and giving you context, shrinks under prolonged stress. Yeah, it physically shrinks. Chronic stress is wild. When the hippocampus shrinks, two things happen. Your emotional regulation weakens, and your ability to make sense of what you're feeling becomes fuzzy. Suddenly, you're overwhelmed and can't explain why. You're irritated, but you don't know at whom. You're sad, but you can't identify the trigger. This makes everything feel personal, not because it is personal, but because your brain has lost its context filter. And then we get to the prefrontal cortex, the CEO of your brain. This part handles adulting, logic, impulse control, long-term thinking, decision making, and managing your emotional reactions. Unfortunately, when chronic stress takes over, the prefrontal cortex weakens. Its ability to override your amygdala decreases. Its ability to maintain its ability to maintain emotional distance dissolves. It's trying its best, but it's running on 3% battery and a prayer. So you end up with this nightmare trio of a hyperactive threat detector, a weakened emotional regulator, and an exhausted executive system. And that's why everything gets to you. That's why your patience feels like it has dissolved in the wash. That's why something small, a sigh, a look, a comment, it can wreck your mood. Your brain is fighting a three-front biochemical war inside your skull. And none of this is your fault. None of it means you're too sensitive. All it means is that you're a human in a world that pushes humans way past their design limits. Here's the part that might surprise you. When you detach at work, When you feel yourself going monotone, when you stop reacting, when you feel emotionally distant, when you operate in autopilot, that isn't a character flaw. It's a survival mechanism. It's your brain saying, I cannot afford to feel everything right now. And honestly, that's healthy. Your brain knows when it's running low on resources. It knows when the mental It knows when the emotional gymnastics are getting dangerous. Detachment is your nervous system putting on padding so you stop getting bruised by every demand, tone shift, or expectation thrown at you. People talk about detachment like it's apathy, but there is a difference. Apathy is, I don't care. Detachment is, I care, but I cannot afford to care about this thing right now, or I will combust. Detachment is a boundary, a self-preservation protocol, a psychological blank, a psychological fire blanket thrown over a system running too hot. And guess what? It works. When you detach, your prefrontal cortex gets a moment to rest. Your amygdala takes a little nap. Your emotional battery stops draining, and your brain gets to regroup, recalibrate, and prepare for everything else that's coming. This is why your shift feels more manageable when you mentally step back. It's why you feel calmer when you treat work like a performance rather than a personal mission. It's why you feel less destroyed when you stop internalizing all the chaos around you. Detachment is what keeps you from burning out entirely. It's not unprofessional. It's not cold. It's not giving up. It's your psychology regulating itself. You are prioritizing your survival in an environment that's constantly poking at your stress response like it's trying to wake up a dragon. It's what keeps you functioning. It's what allows you to come home and still have enough emotional leftovers to be a human, not a husk. If anyone tries to shame you for detaching, please remember they are either one, not informed about neuroscience, two, projecting their own stress behaviors, or three, they're benefiting from your emotional labor. You are not responsible for making a poorly designed system feel humane. You are responsible for not letting that system eat your nervous system alive. There's a lie floating around that escaping a draining job requires some kind of huge, life-saving, dramatic leap, a grand overhaul of your life, your identity, your schedule, or your sanity. That's nonsense. Burnout already takes enough from you. Your exit plan does not need to take more. The truth is that the tiniest, slowest, least glamorous steps are the ones that build your way out. Not because they're magical, but because they're sustainable. The exhausted version of you, the version who comes home drained, who collapses on the couch, who stares into space like your brain unplugged itself, that version of you cannot handle massive changes. But they can handle, that version of you cannot handle massive changes, but it can handle micro progress. Micro progress is the process of building a future one gentle it. Micro progress is the process of building a future one gentle inch at a time. Watching a 5-minute tutorial, writing down one idea, saving one job link, practicing one skill. clarifying one thing you want for yourself, letting one tiny piece of your future soften into shape. You don't need momentum, you need direction. Even the smallest action, especially on your most depleted days, sends your brain a powerful psychological message. We're moving, even slowly, we're moving. And your brain responds to that. Your brain shifts from survival into possibility mode. Big change is built from tiny effort. Burnout will lie to you and tell you that the small steps don't matter. But your nervous system knows their importance. Your brain learns from repetition, not intensity. It doesn't matter how slow you go. What matters is that you remain in motion. You're not stuck, you're transitioning. You've made it through the entire emotional anatomy of why your job sucks at the marrow. Bleh. You've made it through the entire emotional anatomy of why your job sucks the marrow out of your soul like it's auditioning for a vampire musical. So now we get to do my favorite thing, the void forecast. It's emotionally accurate, scientifically suspicious, spiritually reliable, and 100% meant to make you feel seen while your brain sits in the corner on low power mode. Here's what your nervous system is doing this week. Your energy levels will be hovering somewhere near a functional adult and sentient houseplant. Both are valid lifestyles. Your patience will fluctuate like a sitcom plotline, unpredictably rising and falling, depending on whether your amygdala has decided to behave or is currently reenacting a raccoon uprising behind a Taco Bell. Your prefrontal cortex is attempting to stay responsible, but frankly, it's doing that with the enthusiasm of a tired office manager who has realized the printer jam is not fixable and the universe is testing them. Your emotional bandwidth will expand and contract like a cheap phone charger cord, working brilliantly for a moment before completely giving up. You may experience the sudden urge to quit your job and run away to a remote location where Wi-Fi is optional and customer service is illegal. This urge is normal. The urge is expected. The urge is scientifically supported by the fact that you're a human being with limits. The brain gremlin will be active this week. Weak, but he'll still be active. He's offering commentary that ranges from, you're behind on everything. What if you just noped out of reality for a moment? But don't worry, he peaked in 2011 and hasn't discovered a single relevant criticism since. Bexton, the late night cringe DJ, who loves to replay all those moments that still embarrass you. He's also present, wearing sunglasses indoors like he's waging a personal rebellion against fluorescent lighting. He contributes nothing substantial, but his commitment to the bit is admirable. Despite all this internal chaos, here's your forecast's most important line. You're doing better than your brain thinks you are. Your brain keeps evaluating your performance on stress, not reality. Your amygdala is not a reliable narrator. Your exhaustion is not evidence of inadequacy. It's evidence of it. Your amygdala is not a reliable narrator. Your exhaustion is not evidence of inadequacy. It's evidence of endurance. You're navigating an environment that is psychologically loud, emotionally demanding, socially unpredictable, and structured in a way that violates every calm rhythm your biology ever wanted. And yet you keep showing up. You keep navigating. You keep trying. You keep caring. Maybe not about everything, but about the things that matter. You're not failing. You are functioning under conditions that weren't designed for human minds. And this is your reminder that if your body is tired, it's because it's working. If your spirit feels thin, it's because you stressed yourself trying to be kind in places that didn't always deserve your kindness. And if you worry that you're not doing enough, the truth is that you've been doing far more than anyone can see. You're not weak. You're weathering a storm the system pretends isn't happening. Yes, my love, what do you want? You gotta go to bed, buddy. What you doing?
Get out the camera.
Oh, you're fine. I'll cut you out of it.
Um,
I love you.
TV.
You had my remote. You literally took it last night and I never got it back. So no, you cannot take my remote. I think this remote up here might be yours because it does not work on my TVs. I expect you to go and find my darn remote, sir.
Yes.
All right, I love you, buddy. Give me a kiss.
So remember,
Okay.
I keep on biting the bottom.
All right. Do that and find my remote and go to bed, sir. You are not weak. You are weathering a storm the system pretends isn't happening. And you're doing it with a sense of humor, a high-functioning prefrontal cortex that is doing its best under unreasonable circumstances, and just enough sarcasm to keep yourself tethered to reality. Before you go, let me say something you probably don't hear enough. You are not the problem. Your exhaustion is not proof that you're failing. It's proof that you're surviving an environment your brain wasn't built for. You are not broken. You are overloaded. You are tired because you've been carrying around emotional responsibilities that textbooks write entire chapters about. You don't need to earn rest. You don't need to justify your burnout. You don't need to compete with other people's expectations of how you should feel. You need room to breathe. You need gentleness with yourself. You need recovery that isn't interrupted every 5 minutes by someone else's demands. If you detach sometimes, that's okay. If you feel numb sometimes, that's okay. If you want silence instead of conversation, that's okay. These are not flaws. They are survival mechanisms. They are your brain protecting you. They are your body saying, we are doing the best we can with the energy we have. Thank you for spending these 30-something minutes with me. Thank you for spending these 30-something minutes wandering through the void with me. I hope this episode helped you feel understood in a world that often rushes past the inner reality of being a person. You are not alone in this. You are not too much. We are doing. You are not alone in this. You are not too much. You are not bad at coping. You are a human being enduring a system that desperately needs redesigning. The future is not static. You're already building it. Slowly, quietly, consistently. in tiny, stubborn steps that add up to ways you cannot even see yet. And I'm rooting for you, loudly, sarcastically, and with absolutely no intention of letting that annoying brain gremlin or Baxton the cringe DJ narrate your story. If this helped you, please give me a like, a follow, give me a comment. I appreciate you.